We are live. We are live, live, live. Let's see here. I just give it a minute. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We are live and in full effect. All right, one viewer. Let's see if we can get a couple more on here before we start rocking out. I'm on time tonight. Looks like I'm on good on time. Good on time. We're gonna put that do not disturb on. People like to hit you up when you're recording. All right, we live, live, live. Yes, yes. What up, what up, what up? Hope everybody's doing well. As preachers say, I'm not going to be before you too long tonight. I just want to talk about a few things. But a special announcement, special announcement. Tonight, we are actually sponsored by a buddy of mine, Louis T of IMOLT podcast, Inquisitive Minds of Louis T podcast. The Red Couch starts tonight at 8:30. Check it out on Instagram. The links are on Instagram as well as on YouTube. If you just type in IMOLT podcast or and Red Couch, I think he's got Lee Hustle tonight. Um, but check them out. That's what we're being sponsored by tonight. I really appreciate the love and support and the linking. Just more to come, more to come. But I'm not going to say I'm not going to be up here too long. I just want to talk about history repeating itself. So I don't know if anybody's been watching the news the last couple of days or last couple of months. If I'm honest, the last couple of years, but definitely dealing with some cycle stuff here again. Some cycle stuff here again. Um, so let me reference this. So this is Black History Month. This is the last Tuesday of Black History Month, and it's been really eye-opening to see some things that are occurring in the United States. Recently, watched a news clip today about a young man in Texas who I think is 17 years old was just walking in the snow, and he was arrested. He was arrested for being a young black man walking in the snow. First of all, Houston's already got enough, or Texas already has enough things going on with the way that they're treating people and the money that they're charging them for all the electric bills and things like that. I mean, they've got a lot going on. But to see a young black man crying on TV, I mean, he was hurt crying on TV because he was arrested for just being a young black man. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He hadn't done anything wrong, but he fit a profile because of his height, because of his skin color. So he was actually somebody had profiled him, or there was a profile they were looking for a guy, and unfortunately, that was his experience. And so it was very hard to watch that. But it's history just repeating itself. We've seen this for years and years and years. The legendary story of Emmett Till, who even after his murder, because he was murdered, everybody got off free. Come to find out years later, I'm talking about years later, maybe about 15 years ago, the young lady acknowledged that he never did anything. He never whistled at her, never looked at her, nothing. She acknowledged it. I believe she did that on her deathbed, if memory serves me correct. So we've got all these things recycling themselves, and our young black men who are now really scared to trust the police officers and to trust police, to trust really anybody who's not in the black community. And I think that's hard because I've actually been around a lot of police officers and deputies recently and getting to know them, working with them, having conversations. And a lot of them, the ones that I've actually dealt with, the ones that I've been hands on with, communicating with, they've been good people. And but that doesn't that doesn't justify what the other people are doing. That doesn't make it okay. Well, there's a one or two. No, it's actually as a whole, the way that they have treated us recently has been very painful. There was also another story. I think it was in January, a police officer who had actually he was in the military for years, 3 tours of Iraq, came home, decided to serve, and he left literally, he killed himself, but he left a memoir about all the injustice that he's seen within the police department. He's a black man. He said, how can we live this way? How can we, as a nation, live with the way that we're treating the black people in the community? Um, and it's very hard to be a black man in America trying to grow and survive, and not be worried about being picked up or picked out. I'll share from my experience. So I've been talking to my friends and family and things like that about, because I do carry. And so, in me being a carrier, I have a weapon, but I don't do concealed. I carry openly, um, and I can't go into certain places with my pistol on my hip, because the moment that I do that, I'm seen in a way that is scary to people, and I don't want to seem scary. I'm a nice guy. I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm 6 feet even, 300 and some odd pounds. Not gonna give you the exact measurement, but whatever. I'm fluffy, but I'm really a really nice, chill guy. And I usually wear my work something with my work on it, like a badge or a jacket, things like that. Or I'll wear a relationship over religion hoodie, or God is engineering, or faithful to the or not faithful to the assignment, which I need to get one of those hoodies, Jay. But or a um, faith over fear. Always something inspirational. I don't just wear stuff to wear. It's always something inspirational. But the stigma would come if I decided to wear my pistol on my hip and walk into a store. And that is the scary thing for me, as I want to protect myself. Um, I want to be able to make sure that the people that I'm around are protected. I want to make sure that I'm not ever put in a compromised position where basically left unable to take care of myself. And so for me, I want the opportunity to be able to carry without having to hide it. I would like to just wear it on my hip. Why? It's not that it's not a masculine thing. It's not me being macho. It's what makes me comfortable. It's what allows me to be comfortable as I walk into areas where sometimes I know I'm not wanted to be. Um, and so I've done this a couple times. And so I'm when I don't leave my weapon in the vehicle when my kid is in the car, or any kid or anybody else is in the car. I always carry it on me. So one weekend I was going to my parents' house and I had my daughter with me, and the pistol was in the car, and I had to get out the car to go into Food Lion. And now this day it was very unique because I was actually wearing my To God Be the Glory shirt on. I had my To God Be the Glory mask on. I was dressed nice and decent, and I had to put my pistol on my hip. I had to wear it out the door. But the first thing that came to my mind is who's going to call the cops on me? Do they even know why I'm carrying it with me? Do they understand that the safety that I'm trying to make sure that somebody in the car does not get injured or hurt, or it does feel like they want to pick the gun up and just look at it? I don't want any accidents, so it's on me. And I walked through the whole store, and I literally walked to the store, and I could feel the people staring at me. I could feel that I was an anomaly. Now, mind you, there was another uh, white male in the store with his pistol on his hip. But I don't feel like they were staring at him the same way they were staring at me. I felt completely different. And so I would like for us at some point to be able to have these dialogues and communicate about how we can make it so that people such as myself, who are law abiding citizens, who did go through the proper channels to get a pistol, who literally, I work for the community. My job, if nobody knows what my job is, I work for the county that I live in. I am a community service person. That's all I do. I've been volunteering since last week. Um, so there's something that I've been really dealing with. Hey, Tiffany. So the subject that I'm talking about today, and I'll go ahead and reread the room here again. So the topic is that we're in the same cycles over and over again. And I'm talking and speaking about how we as a black community, or black men primarily, like I said, I can talk as a black man. I can never talk as a black female. I do not know the struggle, all the struggles of a black female. I've seen them, things like that, but I can't talk of the emotional state of an African American woman at all. I can't. And that's where we need to have those open lines of communication so we can understand how they're feeling, why they're feeling the way they're feeling. And what we're doing, not only as black men, but as America, what are the things that they're encountering? So I was speaking on me actually having to wear a pistol in the store. And I did this because I had my 15-year-old daughter in the car and I didn't want to leave the gun in the car with her. So I made sure I had to put it on myself, and it goes wherever I go. But there are situations where I don't take it in with me. If I'm by myself and I lock my car up, I know that it's safe, sound, clear, everything's good. I don't have to worry about anything. But if there's another child in the car, I always make sure, or anybody else in the car, I make sure it goes with me. Why? Because their safety is important. Just because you teach kids safety doesn't always mean that they follow through on things like that. They're growing, their minds are maybe not as strong as ours, so there are things that I do. But I'm saying this because there have been situations where I'm walking into stores and I know what it looks like if I'm wearing something that protects me. Um, and it's crazy that all this is occurring. So I'm taking a criminal law class, and on my criminal law class yesterday, the assignment was, if you were in a situation where you were in a convenience store or at a gas station, and somebody had their gun drawn out on another human being, what would the steps be? And you are a carrier, what would the steps be? And I have to think of it as a black man. What would I do? Because for me, it can become a whole different situation. Although I'm there, although I have the ability to carry, although I'm not with the person holding up or trying to hurt somebody else, I have to think, okay, if I pull this pistol out, am I going to be automatically seen as an accomplice, or am I going to be seen as somebody trying to help? I have to think about that, consciously make that decision because of the color of my skin. And sometimes that is very difficult, because when we want to actually be citizens, when we want to help, when we want to be, it's not even a hero, but we want to make sure that everybody comes out okay, we have to be a conscious citizen. Well, am I going to be seen as an angry black man? Or am I going to be seen as an actual citizen who wants to help somebody out? And I had to write that in my answer, is that you're gonna see it two different ways. And I think there's only maybe three of us black people in the class, so our perspective was different than everybody else in the class, out of a class of 25. And it's tough because I live in the same America as them, but I'm going through the same cycle as people generations ago who fought for us to be able to carry weapons, for us to be able to go into the store and not have to be criticized, for us to go to the same bathrooms as everybody else. I'm dealing with the same cycle that they did, because I'm automatically, no matter what it is, no matter what I'm doing, I'm automatically stereotyped as an angry black man, and I'm not. And so this was something that I've been processing. Like I said, I'm not gonna take up all your time on my stool today, on my platform today, but I just wanted to talk about, this is the last day of Black History Month, and we are still experiencing the same things. And it's going to take a while before we actually get to the point where we're not experiencing these things, but we're still being stereotyped, and we're still being taken advantage of, and we're still being treated incorrectly. Um, and for those who just hopped on, I was talking about a young man, and all this came because of a young man in Texas who literally is 17 years old, was walking in the snow. It was a little late. It was just a little dark. It wasn't actually late at night, but it was dark, and he's walking, and he got profiled. He got pulled over and arrested, and he had nothing to do with anything. He was just walking. He had his book bag in his hand, and he was walking, and he was profiled at 17 now. He's crying on national TV because he's hurt, he's broken. He was broken for no reason. And then on top of that, they had the nerve to say that it was a valid arrest, but it wasn't because you stereotyped him. Because he was 6 feet tall, black, and and in the area, he automatically was arrested without even giving a conversation. They didn't treat him as a human being anymore. And that is my issue. So the cycle is repeating itself again, as we've seen so many times. We've seen so many posts about it, about the way that we're treated. And at some point in time, we are going to have to step up and make some changes. We're going to have to demand some changes. We're going to have to make some fights occur because enough is enough. Enough is enough. Exactly. It's crazy. We cannot continue to live this way. Like I said, I can't live this way. It's very hard. Yesterday I did something that I normally don't do. As I was telling you earlier, I do carry. So yesterday I went to Target and I carried my pistol inside. And I felt unique as usual. But I wanted to do something because I actually had all my county gear on. I literally had all my county gear on. You can tell I was a county person. I had my badge on. You can see my ID. I literally did this, and the response was still the same. I seen people walk away from me. I seen people avoid the aisle that I was on. I seen people not want to come near me at all. And that hurt my heart because I do serve the community. That is my job. I serve the community, not only in the function of working for the county. I coach football. I mentor kids. Like, I'm an actual member of the community. I pay my taxes. I do what I'm supposed to do. I stay out of trouble. And yet I'm still seen as a threat because of who I am and what I look like. And that is very hard in this day and age to live through. I'm 36 years old. I should never feel like a foreigner in a place that I grew up. And so I'm saying this to say that we need to have the conversation continually, not just when this month is over. It needs to be a constant conversation of how we can affect change, because we have these moments, we have these movements, things occur, and then it dies down, and we're still dealing with the same garbage over and over again. And it's very painful. It's very hard to do. Sometimes it's just these things in the back of your mind are like, am I even valued to be a citizen in this country? And I should not be feeling that at 36 at all. So we have to come to a decision at some point when we're going to actually have some serious talks. And you know how we can do that? We can really affect change by knowing who we're voting for, knowing who's in our community in leadership. Because you know what? You can start small and grow big. You can change an entire town's concept of how they're doing things, and then that will start to affect on the state level, and then the state level on the national level. We can do that, but we have to have these conversations. And so I'm not really trying to be heavy, but I'm just wanted to share that we're repeating the same cycles again, and it is affecting us. Think about a 17-year-old child, because he's not even a man yet. He's still developing. You know, we always say 18 is when you become a man, but he's still developing. I was developing at 18. I didn't always know what the right things to do. I didn't make the right decisions. I was growing. I was learning. I was gaining knowledge. But now he's got a fear. Every time he sees an officer who could just be trying to say hi and check on him, he could actually have a PTSD moment because of the situation where he had nothing to do with anything. He never did anything wrong, but yet now that's a scar he's going to have to deal with. That's some therapy he's going to have to talk through. He's going to have to explain to people why he is the way, why he might be jittery now, why he may not want to leave the house after dark. These are all things that we have to talk about, because I'm telling you, we don't want our next generation to suffer. We say this, it needs to get better. Every generation needs to get better, it needs to get better. But I'm seeing us going backwards at this point. I'm seeing us going backwards, people dying every day, people being murdered and killed, not every day, but more often than it should be, and no justice is being served. And and I really, really want us to talk about this. So like I said, I'm not going to be on my high horse long, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, this episode was sponsored by Louis T of the Inquisitive Minds of Louis T podcast. IMOLT podcast airs tonight. at 8:30 on YouTube, as well as you can check him out on Instagram. Um, and I think tonight he has Lee Hustle on, which is a local legend when it comes to battle rap. But check him out, support other people, other entrepreneurs who are trying to grow things. We talk about supporting the black community, but let's support the black community as much as we can, and do everything possible to uplift us, because it's hard in these streets. It's hard living every day. It's hard moving every day. These are stuff that we are thinking about, but we can't we when and we're not really talking about it, but we're thinking about it and processing it. So I'm making it my point to tell you how I feel, what I'm dealing with, that I don't feel like I am a part of the United States sometimes. Although I love this country, I'm glad that I live here. Sometimes, as a black man, I do not feel as if I'm accepted or welcomed at all. And I'm just being honest on how I feel. I'm not addressing anybody else's feelings or how anybody else. This is how I feel as a black man in America, that if I'm just walking behind you and you speed up or go left or go right because I'm walking, you know how that makes me feel as a human being who's never done wrong to you, who doesn't know you, who actually, if I didn't have a mask on, I'd probably have smiled at you and said hello, because that's what I do. I say hello to everybody because that's what I was taught, to be kind and be polite. So I'm just sharing my feelings. I hope that you guys who are just hopping on can go ahead and check out the beginning. Just trying to encourage us that we need to change the cycle. It needs to start today. Um, we really need to become more about each other, about human beings, not about the race, not about backgrounds, but about us being human beings and treating each other as so. Because I'm telling you right now, that's what's going to heal our land, not about our background or anything like that. And Miss Mary, exactly. It's about black women as well. I just don't know. Like I said, I'm not a black woman, so I can't address exactly how a black woman feels. I've seen movies, I've read books, things like that. So I can get a little bit, but to actually have a black woman express how they feel, I think would be a great dialogue. I think that's going to be something that we're going to come up with soon here. Just so we can talk about it, because like I said, I can always address as a black male how I feel walking into a store, how I feel when I'm trying to make a purchase, how I feel when I'm going for an interview for a job, um, or on the job that you're already on, how it feels to sometimes be the only black person in the building. I've been there as well. It's not always easy. So but that's like I said. I just wanted to address that tonight. I am so grateful to be alive. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad and excited that I have this platform and ability to speak on these things. And if you know me, I may not always get it right, but I do everything with love. I'm always trying to make sure it doesn't matter what background you come from. I love on you. We may not see eye to eye, but you still get the best part of me. So I hope that you guys have a great night. Remember to go check out tonight, 8:30. One more time, IMOLT podcast on YouTube. It's the Inquisitive Minds of Louis T podcast on YouTube. Appreciate him for sponsoring tonight. We'll have more sponsors coming up. Loving this linking and connecting. Also, go check out Make It Public, who has been backing us up since day one. Great company, great founder and CEO at Megan Danielle. But I'm telling you, check it out. Love you all. I hope you have a great night, and be kind to somebody this week. Don't care what they look like, where their background is, but be kind to them. Show them the love that's inside of you that you want somebody to show you. And have a great night.